If this goes ahead, it kind of implies that the Broadcasting Standards Code would have the ability to regulate the entire internet. And that just seems completely inappropriate because there's a big difference in what is a broadcaster and what these other types of media are really like. Broadcasting has a much bigger separation between the broadcaster and the audience, whereas these other types of media, social media is the best example. It's participatory, so the person giving the opinion is also the person receiving it. So it's more like a discussion you might have down at the pub, for example. It's more a better analogy of what's going on Twitter and some of these other social media platforms. There's no clear distinction between the audience and the person providing the content. It's one and the same. So it's not appropriate, I think, for that reason, and also for many other reasons, why the Broadcasting Standards Code ought to apply to social media and stuff like that. Just think about it. Imagine if every tweet you did, for example, had to be balanced and cover all perspectives. Imagine if someone could make a complaint to the Broadcasting Standards Authority if your tweet was inaccurate or unfair or something like that. It would destroy the entire medium. Those sorts of regulations that are outlined in the Broadcasting Standards Code are completely inappropriate for social media. The platform sits in a sort of in-between spot between social media and traditional broadcasting. It's more participatory, I think, than standard broadcasting, but it's less participatory than Twitter, for example. So I think before the Broadcasting Standards Authority decides it ought to just decide for itself what its jurisdiction is, it ought to really think harder about whether that was what the law was intended to do, first of all. And second of all, whether these two different types of media are really appropriate and whether the same sorts of standards ought to apply to each.